We confuse deliverers with freedom fighters. Moses in Egypt did not set the people free. He was a deliverer of the people. The deliverer simply means someone who takes them out of slavery and places them in the desert. He takes them from physical slavery. Mental slavery is the real issue. That's the tough part. That takes almost a generation to deal with. People expected Moses to set them free. And we need to remember that we are not free. We are delivered. The oppressor is still around. He has no more physical control over us, but he still has a mental damage on us. And that's why deliverance is a very difficult period, because you are out of Egypt, but Egypt is not out of you. You're away from the wind of Egypt, but the scent of oppression is still in your nostrils. So the deliverer physically sets you free. He takes the chains off, he opens the prison doors, he tells you to go out, even leads you out. But he can't take you in to freedom. Freedom, not a location, it's a mentality. So nothing is worse than taking a slave into freedom without freedom in his mind. Solomon says, woe to the land when a slave becomes king. That word woe means the land is in trouble. When a slave becomes king means even though you give the person power, they still think like a slave. Nothing is worse than a powerful slave, because the mentality will destroy the people. And so wearing a crown doesn't change your mind, it exposes it. This is why you need that period in deliverance to try and change the mentality of the slave. If he doesn't have a mental transformation, the slave will be no benefit to freedom. This is probably why when you read the story of Moses and the children of Israel, you'll discover that all of the people who came out of Egypt, all of them died in the desert. God didn't allow them to go in. Matter of fact, God told them, you will not enter the land. He told them why. He said, because you have not changed your mind. So he kept them alive long enough to take what they were carrying out of them, which is the next generation. 40 years, it's a generation. So after 40 years, their children were born, then God buried all the parents. Joshua, therefore, is always a younger symbol, and he has a glimpse of the future very clearly, but he also has an appreciation of the past. There has to be a point in every national joining where the Moses must take the baton, give it to Joshua. This is where our countries have problems, because Moses is the famous guy. Moses is the guy who represents the symbol of power. He's the one everybody looks to for counsel. Everybody thinks that he has all the answers. So there's a temptation for the Moses to almost begin to believe his own fan mail. And he begins to also think of himself as more important than he really is. And that's dangerous. And this is why when you study the story of Moses, God told Moses, it's over. Moses, keep in mind, is a symbol. If you read the transition between Moses and Joshua, they're actually two different books in the Bible. The last book that Moses wrote is called Deuteronomy. The last chapter of it, it says, and Moses died. And the last few verses says, and Moses was dead. Moses laid hands on Joshua, presented him before the people. He went to the mountain, and then he never came back again. In fact, the reason why God made sure that no one could find his grave is a very important thing. Because you can almost be so busy worshiping history, you never make a future. So he doesn't want them to even know where the tomb is. No one knows where Moses was buried. That's an important symbol. We should not worship Moses to the point where we can't create Joshua's.